Interesting, and we'll talk about this a bit later on. Trae Young not on the court for the final couple of minutes there as the Atlanta Hawks hold on with Young on the bench. All right, let's bring in Brendan Haywood, who's in our film room. Steve Smith, Jared Greenberg. Let's talk here about how Jimmy Butler tried to get his third game winner of the season. Remember, he did it against Charlotte, did it against Brooklyn. B. Wood, what'd you think about the way he went about trying to get it tonight against Atlanta?
Well, I have no problem with it. That's going to be his role. A lot of times he's going to be the closer for this team. And then you also look at Embiid not playing. So give Jimmy Butler the ball, and it's up to him. It's his discretion as to what type of ISO he wants and how he's going to finish the game. Now, in this situation, maybe he could have passed it, but I'm not really, I think that he had a great ISO situation right there, got fouled, and, things just didn't work out.
And Jared, he did a nice job being able to recognize a double team coming, didn't have a quality shot, used the pump fake, got Justin Anderson up in the air, got to the free throw line. Now, he misses this first one bad, right. But I will say, B. Wood knows this, you practice how to miss free throws, and some guys don't do that very well. That was a great miss on the second one. Ben Simmons came in, tipped it. Wilson Chandler, maybe too wide open, missed the easy one that they could have tied it up.
Yeah, the Sixers' free throw shooting may cost them some more games throughout the course of the season. Now, B. Wood, listen, Jimmy Butler was sensational. 12 for 12, which you heard Zoo talk about on the broadcast, and then missed those last two. That's going to cost you. The Sixers tonight, 20 of 27 from the free throw line. It's a number that, listen, it's not awful, but in these type of games, it's going to cost you.
Well, yeah, free throws definitely are helpful for your team. And down the stretch, if you can make your free throws, that's definitely going to help you win. The Sixers, they blew an opportunity tonight to win a very winnable game for them. And these games add up, and they mean a lot, especially when you get towards the end of the regular season and you start looking at where you are in the standings, because there are a lot of good teams that are jumbled up in that top 4 to 5.
All right, so again, we've got a couple of finals tonight, and injuries playing a big part in what's already happened tonight. We've seen the Wizards take advantage of the Bucks without Giannis. We've seen now the Hawks take advantage of Philly without Embiid. We've got Minnesota and Dallas, and look at the Don going to work
Look
here.
at the Don, it's sticking, B. Wood, it's sticking.
I taught him that one.
Oh,
Luka's got 16 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, another triple-double alert tonight. Dallas up 73-65. If the Mavs hang on to win tonight, it will be Dallas's first consecutive wins in a month. This Dallas squad had lost 3 in a row before winning the other night. Minnesota, meanwhile, had come in winners of 3 straight. And that emotional game for Ryan Saunders the other night against Oklahoma City, where, Smitty, the team just absolutely embraced him. Andrew Wiggins had a great game. Karl Anthony Towns had a great game. Wiggins tonight, only 11 points, 4 of 14. And Karl Anthony Towns went to the back with an injury earlier in this game.
Yeah, and you give Ryan Saunders a lot of credit, like you said, getting that first road win. And like you said, the team embraced him. But what I love is right now is, with the injury to Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins not playing well, they have found a way to fight back in this one and have a good chance to maybe pull this one off.
Towns has come back to the game, but foul trouble bothering him tonight the most. He's got 4 fouls tonight, and we are just halfway through the third quarter. But let's go to the film room and talk with Brendan Haywood about Luka Doncic, who's leading the way so far with 16 points for the Mavs.
Luka the Don, Smitty, that's the nickname that we're sticking with for Luka the Don. Having a great night, had 15, 7, and 7 last I checked. Very diverse in his game. He always likes to diversify his portfolio. He can do a lot of different things, and we're going to show a lot of clips right now. We're actually going to show 3 clips of what Luka has done tonight in the versatile way that he's been helping the Dallas Mavericks. All right, now we have Luka coming off the screen and roll. Perfect placement. Look at that pass. 3-ball corner pocket. Love the way he used the screen off top of the key. This time Luka comes off the screen, but it's a slip. He sees the 2 defenders mess it up. Luka pops in right behind him, hits the 3. Once again, it's money. He is very diverse in his game, and Tricky Ricky, Rick Carlisle, drawing up a great play for Luka out of the timeout. He uses the pin down screen, quick, subtle hesitation dribble, and then sneaky and craftily down the lane. Luka for 2 points. Luka doing it all in multiple different ways and different fashions tonight, getting it done for the Dallas Mavericks, looking good on the road.
Excellent, B. Wood, excellent.
Hey, man, I told you I was back here working, man. I don't know why you thought I was just back here hanging around. I'm not just back here checking Instagram. I'm doing work. I'm doing big things out here.
From Brendan Haywood to a much better looking man, A man who had himself.
Who's better looking than me?
A man who put in some great work tonight. There he is. Friend of the program, John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks.
John Collins had to laugh at that one.
He
like,
did.
whoa,
I
whoa, whoa.
appreciate that. I appreciate the shout out.
Man than me, though.
Brendan, stop talking over our guest, please. We're trying to get to John Collins.
Sorry, OGB, man. I'm sorry, B. Hey, I'm sorry, man. Sheesh.
It's just this North Carolina hate right here, right?
Yeah,
Wake
that's
Forest
what
and
it is.
I don't know
UNC.
what you're talking about.
John, congratulations. Hawks go to Philadelphia, what has proven to be the toughest place to win on the road this year. And the Hawks came out with a gritty 123-121 victory. Tell us what the emotions were like tonight when you knew Joel Embiid wasn't going to play and how you're able to pull this one out.
I mean, obviously, when you hear a guy like that, All-Stars not playing, you definitely feel like you have a better chance to win than you did previously before. And I think we took advantage of that on the glass. We really, tried to dominate them. I think we had the size advantage down low. And we made some plays down the stretch that were clutch, and we were able to finish this one out in a tough place to play.
John, Steve Smith, I got a chance to watch you in college. I actually did one of your games in the first four. And I always, when I first watched you, I said, checked off, energy guy, plays hard. You need that as a power forward position or a big. Then I looked at you, I said, he's great in the post. Then I looked at now, you've added step back, you've added the three-point shot. What did you do in the summertime? And then I see right now, always been a confident player, but right now the game, as for young guys, has slowed down. Even that last play, you didn't even rush when the shot clock was running down.
Yeah, I just think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think that 1 year obviously helped me, get my feet wet in the league. And then I think this year with, the new staff and Coach Pierce is really taking me under his wing and try to give me, a philosophy of how to play. And I think it's just, a part of the process, a part of me growing as a player and becoming more comfortable on the court. I don't like to rush, and I was able to get a nice shot off, like you said there. I feel like I put in a lot of work, and it's all paying off right now.
John, Brendan Haywood, I got a question for you. I had a chance to watch you your freshman year, Wake Forest, and then watch you the very next year. You seem like a totally different player. Same thing this year, looking at you from your rookie year to this year. I know you said you put in the work, but take us behind the scenes of what has led to those big jumps both those years, because you just keep getting better and better.
Well, I feel like you said, you guys touched on earlier, the motor I have, so I'm definitely going to put in the work, not to sound cliche, but, I'm going to get in the gym, put up shots, work on whatever and whatnot. But I think it's really just the game speed, that first year really, like I said, let me get my feet wet and understand what I was getting into, how fast the league is. And, I don't have it all figured out yet, but I'm definitely taking a big step in understanding, how the game flows and when to pick my spots here and there. And I think, like I said, it's all coming together perfectly, and I can't complain.
Yeah, John, I know you missed a portion of the early season with an injury, and maybe that has a lot to do with this, but your minutes have really ramped up lately. Third straight game that you've played over 30. What conversations have you had with Lloyd Pierce, your coach, about adding responsibility and adding to your load each and every game?
Yeah, that's definitely a big conversation we've had about me taking care of my body, because, throughout high school or college and even to last year, I don't really think I've ever played 30 minutes consistently throughout the game. So it was a big conversation about, taking care of my body and making sure I'm doing the right things off the court to make sure I'm ready to play 30-plus minutes the way I do, at the pace I do, with the motor that I have. It's a lot on the body. So Coach definitely made an emphasis to let me know that it's going to change this year.
John, question for me is, we've seen obviously the play of yours going, at an unbelievable level. Now talk to me about, as a young guy on this team, you don't have a lot of veterans. Are you ready to take on that leadership role of leading the Atlanta Hawks in the future?
I definitely think I am. I'm definitely ready to take that next step if need be. And I feel like my teammates are definitely giving me the confidence and, sort of just the vibe that they want me to be the leader and that they have my back. So it's definitely encouraging for me to go out there and play the way that I can play with my teammates behind me. So I'm definitely ready to take that next step.
Hey, John, how sharp are Alex Len's elbows?
You had to do that one to me right now. I'm just happy, he wasn't, throwing out the game. But, hey, man, I stay away from those elbows, man. Those are those Eastern European elbows, real strong, real sturdy. I'm staying out the way.
John, you're the man. We always appreciate you taking time with us. Congratulations on yet another spectacular performance. You get the eventual game winner for Atlanta to beat Philadelphia. You go into the city of brotherly love, get you a cheesesteak.
Definitely. I got one waiting in the locker room right now. You already called it.
Easy. We worked on your weight. We worked on your weight. So you just contradicted yourself.
Hold on. What's up? What's going on?
Cheese Whiz or provolone?
I don't know, man. I feel like you're going to try to expose me if I say one or the other, man. I'm just saying both.
Right,
I got two.
You
I got
say
two in there.
Whiz.
I got two. So I got Cheese Whiz and provolone.
Okay, good. Do it right, John Collins. Thank you.
Congratulations, young fella. Keep playing.
Safe travels.
Thank you,
John.
guys. See you soon.
That is one of the coolest cats in the entire NBA.
You know, that kid, I watched him in college. Unbelievable motor.
Yeah.
And
Tonight in Salt Lake City, there's LeBron James. He and the 8th place Lakers will run. Well, he won't, but the 9th place Jazz are going to host them in this game. These two teams are separated by 2 games in the West standings. Utah wins tonight. It's a 1-game separation. LA wins tonight. It is a 3-game separation. A big one from Salt Lake City. And right now, we welcome in live on Arena Link, Lakers sideline reporter for Spectrum Sports Net, Mike Trudell. And Mike, it is great to see you. We know that LeBron James is going to miss at least the next 3 games, but he might return next Thursday against OKC on TNT. Are you optimistic about his chances of playing in that game?
Rick, first of all, it's great to see you, man, as always. And I'll just tell you what everybody else knows, or maybe doesn't know is a better way to put it, about LeBron, and that's whether or not he'll return in that game. We do know he's going to be reevaluated after these next 3 games, and you would theoretically think if all went well, maybe he can return for game action, but he is yet to practice yet, right? They haven't started to ramp things up. We don't have any reports of progress in that sense, other than the fact that he, of course, is improving just by not being out there in games. So it is a little bit of a wait-and-see mode, Rick, as the Lakers try to survive in what you mentioned is a very tight Western Conference playoff race.
No doubt about it, man. And what have the Lakers learned? I mean, you're with them every game and seeing it up close and personal. What have they learned about themselves in these 8 games without LeBron?
You know, so they're starting to get better. I think you have to put it into context as well that it's not just LeBron that's out. It's Rajon Rondo, who is kind of a secondary leader and playmaker, and then they missed Kyle Kuzma for 2.5 games when he had a lower back contusion, and we saw what Kuz did last game when he dropped 41 in 3 quarters. So that was certainly a key additional piece. When you have 3 guys out, it just makes things tricky. But the simple fact of it, Rick, offense is what's dropped off completely without LeBron. They ranked 28th in the league in offensive efficiency since LeBron went out on Christmas Day. Defense, on the other hand, has been great. They've actually been the 2nd best defensive team in the entire NBA over the course of that time frame. So that's what we've seen. LeBron has been that important to the offense. And, you know, you got to shout out Rondo a little bit, too, for what he'd been doing.
No doubt. Great point and great stats right there as well. Now, Luke Walton recently told Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball to play with more passion. How was that message received?
Well, he said it after the Minnesota game, which was one of the worst games of the season for the Lakers. They weren't in it really right from the start. And Rick, you know, especially for a couple of Minnesota guys like you and myself, probably watched that one. And as things went for the next couple of games, though, they really answered the bell. That was for a tough road win in Dallas, where the Mavs had been 15-3. And then, of course, the Lakers beat Detroit rather handily at home. And the way that Luke put it into context was, look, he always expects more from these players. It wasn't so much a criticism and a critique, although, of course, he was criticizing the last couple of games that they had put in. But when LeBron went out, that changed what the expectation was for those 2 players. And sometimes it takes a bit of an adjustment time from when you're just you're operating under a certain context, when LeBron's on the court, and then when he's not, you do have to change the approach. And Luke went to the public, and so far they've responded. And look, they're going to need him to do so again tonight if the Lakers are hopeful to get a win in a tough place to play right here in Utah.
Mike, really appreciate it, man. You know I'll be texting you in the days to come for intel on your Lakers. Enjoy the game, safe travels, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, my pleasure. Always good to see you, man.
That's my dude right there, Mike Trudell, Rick Kamla, Steve Smith, and Brendan Haywood here on Game Time Live, presented by State Farm. Now, Kyle Kuzma dropped a career-high 41 Wednesday in 29 minutes. It was a wide score, so his services weren't required in the 4th quarter. Last year, 16.1. This year, 18.8. Put his ascension into perspective.
Well, what I like about it is sometimes you score some points when you're not winning games. And now he's added to his point average, Brendan and Rick, and they're winning games. And he works on his game. He has the mindset and the size and ability to be a great guy to play off a guy like LeBron James or even off Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball before LeBron got there. This kid is a scorer's mentality. And I look at him as, yes, he doesn't pass a lot, Brendan and Rick, but this kid is a scorer, and it doesn't bother him. I am what I am. I play hard. I work on my game. I've been knowing him and seeing him since he was young in high school. This kid has that type of ability.
I think it's amazing when you look at his ascension. I think what's really, truly amazing about it is the fact that he wasn't supposed to be the guy. The guy that was supposed to make the big jump and be LeBron James' number 2 was Brandon Ingram. And when you look at how it's gone, he hasn't stepped on anybody's toes. He's just maximized his potential, and he's taken advantage of opportunities when they presented himself to them, like LeBron James being out right now. Now it's my chance to go for 40 and help us win a basketball game. That's something he might not have a chance to do when LeBron is there. So I look at him taking advantage of opportunity, the way he plays, the confidence, and I think that we're going to see him play even better because this was a guy that shot 36% from 3 last year. This year he's only shooting 30% from 3, and he's taking 6 threes a game. So that's a low percentage to take that amount of threes. We know he's going to catch up to that number that he shot last year at some point, and when he does, look for his scoring average to possibly go over 20.
And also, Brendan, he's going to have to rebound the basketball better. At that size, I can't come up with them 1 and 2s. He's going to have to get on the glass at that size.
And I know Brendan was clocking the rebound column in that 41-point game the other night.
Well, he normally averages about 6 rebounds. So I'm just going to say that's one of those anomaly games where he had it going, and he was just focusing strictly on his offense. When LeBron comes back,
Kuz, go get on the glass.
Hey, when LeBron comes back, he'll be back to rebound again.
On the glass.
Look, Blake Griffin played 37 minutes the other night and had no rebounds, all right? It happens sometimes. Let's